You think you're the only one obsessing over that breakup? The only one replaying conversations at 2 a.m. or stalking their social media or ruminating on what went wrong or what if? Well, think again. Avoidance obsessed too, but not in the way you think, not on the same timeline, and they're most certainly not going to show you. It doesn't look like crying into a pillow or sending you drunk texts or begging for you to come back, because that's likely not going to happen if this was a true dismissive avoidant. They're not going to beg for that second chance. Their obsession is darker, quieter, and a hell of a lot more twisted than you realize. And once you understand the ways that they secretly keep you in their orbit, you're never going to mistake their silence for peace again. And if you guys are new to the channel, welcome in. My name is Sarah. I'm a mindset mastery coach, transformational hypnotherapist, and attachment style specialist. Stay tuned when we get down into the nitty gritty about the avoidance true obsession with you. So you think that their silence means that they don't care or that they don't think of you, right? But the truth is, avoidants obsess differently, silently, and it's eating them alive. But you're never going to see this, and you're probably never going to hear about it. But you're also not crazy for feeling like they still orbit you, because they do, and they are. So that feeling you have in your gut, it's real. That's why so many of my clients say, Sarah, it feels like we have a soul bond or a trauma bond. You very well might have both or one or the other. But that's not really what's important. And hear me out here. What's important is, yes, understanding what's going on and then helping yourself and giving yourself the tools that you need to move forward from this attraction to this person, from this attachment to this person, because so often we mistake attachment with love. And once you pull back the curtain, so to speak, and see what's really going on with yourself and with this person, I think you might see things a little differently. So their obsession is a sympathetic survival loop. We're going to look at nervous system lens here, just like we did yesterday. They can't regulate the attachment wound, so they run it in circles, right? What is the sympathetic? Well, that's the fight or flight energy. We talked about it in yesterday's video, so go take a look, because I have part 1 and I can count part 1 and part 2 of those videos. Oh my God. Guys, I keep the bloopers in. I don't erase them, because this is me. This is my goofy, silly personality. Also, on that note, if you like what you see and you want to work with me one-on-one, I offer those sessions. Please click the link below for a free 15-minute discovery call. I do have those open on certain days of the week, and we can see if we're a good fit and how I can support you in moving forward out of this looping and ruminating and sleepless nights and eating, not eating, and just not being able to live up to your potential because you're stuck on this person. I can help you get unstuck. Okay, back to the sympathetic nervous system. So instead of processing grief, they're going to channel it, hear me out, into distraction, overworking, control, that's a big one, and rumination. Guys, there's a reason why they don't come back. And one of the main reasons is control. They want to be in control, or seemingly be in a false sense of control over their life, over the breakup, over the story about the breakup and your relationship, because most of the time they're lying to themselves just to survive. You have to understand that we're all in survival mode when we're in fight or flight, sympathetic, when we're in dorsal vagal shutdown. And when we're in either of those nervous system states, guys, we are just trying to make it through day to day, and everything else is secondary, right? It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So let me explain. Obsession is their way of containing the feelings that they can't face head on, the feelings that they had for you, the feelings that they likely still have for you, and the feelings that you had for them. It's not that they never loved you, because I hear that in my practice all the time. Well, the avoidant didn't love me, Sarah, or how do I know they moved on so fast? Guys, I was married to a dismissive avoidant, and I understand those feelings, a feeling like, did they ever even care? Because it looked like he moved on like it was nothing. Like he just rearranged the furniture after I moved out and cleaned, and then everything was back to the way it was before I ever arrived or stepped foot in that house or in his life. I understand those feelings of grief, those feelings of confusion, those feelings of just like just like the inability to understand what just happened, right? But it's, again, their way of containing and controlling the situation, because that's the only way they know how to get through this, guys. They're not actually going to process it. They may process it much later. And guys, People will ask me, like, give me a timeline when they're going to process this. It could be months, it could be years. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again for people who are new to my channel. I have an ex that came back 7 years later apologizing. 7 years, the better part of a decade. So you cannot wait on this person to come back, guys. They probably aren't going to come back. And if they do come back, you have to ask yourself, is it worth my self-sacrifice and self-abandonment to bring this person back into my orbit, back into my sphere, and back into the life that I'm rebuilding after this devastating breakup? Now let's talk about some of the shocking ways that they obsess. Number 1, rumination. Yes, they ruminate just like you. It's not only anxious attachers who ruminate. Replaying arguments or last moments, last kisses, last hugs, last laughs, like last secrets together. And they replay these over and over in their mind, but they're not going to tell anybody. Remember, guys, they're doing this silently. They're suffering in pain silently, but this is a choice that they've made to distance themselves from other people, from life and from love and from relationships. They're probably stalking your social media, but you're never going to know it and you're never going to see it. And oftentimes the way avoidants will do this is by a fake profile. Yes, it's true. I've had DAs like confess to me, this is what I do. And I'm giving you a list of what I've heard that they do from the horse's mouth. They're not going to like or comment or even follow you again. They're going to like ghost watch. It's like they've become a ghost. And I've had clients say that also. It's like my DA is a ghost and I wonder if any of that was ever real. That makes sense because they just sort of disappear into the ethers, right? This is going to hurt. This is going to trigger some people. So I'm just going to put that out there. You can stop watching if you want. A lot of them are going to rebound. Not all DAs, but some are going to rebound into other relationships or just other distractions. It could look like hobbies. It could look like traveling the world, moving, like totally just redoing their identity, trying to escape the pain. And we all know that that doesn't work because who here has tried that? Me? Raise your hand. How many times have you tried to escape yourself or escape your patterns, dating somebody else or trying something new or a new haircut or a tattoo or whatever, and it doesn't work because you are stuck with you? This is why we have to heal the inside. We have to heal us and understand our patterns and our pain so we can get to the root and the core of it so that we don't make those same decisions again, so that we're choosing from a different, more empowered place. So what do I mean by rebound spiral? Like I said, jumping into a new relationship or jumping into dating fast, not because they've healed, but because they're trying to erase the ghost of you. Hear me out. They're in pain. Look, guys, I'm giving away my age a little bit here, but I used to go on the apps. So I'm talking about the apps like a long time ago. I'm not even going to tell you how long ago. Okay. I did it off and on for years. And there's so many people that should not be on there trying to date that literally I'd have guys like start crying to me because they were separated, but not, totally divorced. And I learned very quickly, you stay away from those people. They're not in the right headspace to be dating. They should not be out there dating. They're going to hurt people, right? They're going to leave a wake of devastation in their path because they are not ready. They're just trying to cling on to someone else to avoid their own pain. I said it. Okay, mic drop. Nostalgia obsession, the next shocking way that the DA obsesses. Clinging to objects, playlists, gifts, or just routines even. I know this is kind of weird, but routines that might remind them of you, like they might drive a certain way because you guys drove that certain way. Or this is going to sound crazy, guys. I'm giving away a lot of secrets of this video. There was nothing to do in the desert where I lived with my husband, my ex-husband. So we would go snake hunting at night, not to hunt them or kill them, not to hurt them, just to like look at them and find them and see them because there is nothing to do. Oh my God. So I wouldn't doubt it if he's out there doing that on some nights and thinking of me and remembering me in the passenger seat and holding my hand or laughing or inside jokes or whatever. Right? Because they're trying to hold on to some version of you in some way, in some place and time. But they're going to deny it while they're doing it. I told you this is twisted. All right, let's talk about the next one. Fantasy loop. Imagining conversations with you. I've done it. I think most of us have. Again, raise your hand. Let me know in the comments below. Have you ever imagined a conversation? This is how I've gotten through most of my life and a lot of difficult situations, is I have these imaginary conversations. Sometimes it's with someone who's passed, it's with an ex, or it's with a version of myself or with myself. And those what if scenarios, like while staying silent in reality, but going over it in their mind to try to reach some sort of closure or understanding of their own. That's not moving on, guys. That's obsession in disguise. And I want to make that really clear for those of you. So to wrap it up, avoidants obsess inwardly. You're rarely going to see tears or hear them confess, their undying love for you, or beg for you to come back, or even contact you. And this is where it gets hard. Like, look, insider information, like I wished that my ex-husband would have come back and begged and cried and told me he missed me. And not once did that happen. Not once did that happen in the process of divorce. And it's interesting because there were times where I thought about it and I even did it in my own way, but I was always a little scared because there was this fear of like getting rejected again, right? Because when you've been rejected by an avoidant, you definitely don't want to be rejected again. It's not a good feeling. So instead, I just kind of kept to myself and I didn't say anything. And I just wished and hoped and waited. And I'm here to tell you that it's probably not going to happen, like a 99% chance that that's not going to happen. Their obsession is silence, it's busyness, and it's rebound attempts of any kind. And it's also just like distractions in general, distracting themselves with hobbies, distracting themselves with, with making money or new toys or traveling, etc. So here's what I need you to know. Just because it's quiet doesn't mean it's gone. It means it's eating them alive behind closed doors. They are suffering in pain alone by their own volition and choice. This is a choice they made a long time ago, or rather their nervous system made this choice for them. So their obsession isn't proof of love. It's proof of their wound, okay? Don't romanticize it. So just because you know now that they're obsessing doesn't mean that this is not love. Love is action in my understanding, okay? In my decades of being on this planet, love is action. It's emotions and actions, it's words and actions. Don't romanticize their wound. That's where you're going to get into trouble and try to save somebody else, and you cannot save somebody else. You can only save yourself. Your job is not to wait for them to resurface. It's to free yourself from their orbit. And you do this by healing, by empowering yourself, by understanding that there's an attachment. There might be love there, but there's definitely also an attachment there. Heal that attachment to the wound. Heal that attachment to your own wounding, to their wound, to trying to heal or fix somebody else, and just wishing, waiting, and hoping that they'll come back because it's hurting you. So now that you know they don't move on clean, right? They obsess and they spiral and they carry you in their hearts and their minds in ways that they're never going to admit. But here's the most important question. What do you do with that knowledge? What are you going to do with the knowledge now that you've watched this video, you've taken it in, and you have this deeper understanding? Because in my next video, I'm going to show you how to break that trauma bond for good. So this obsession doesn't keep you stuck in lingering, looping pain. And I want you guys to understand that this is a choice that you're going to make at this point, right? Because I empower you with knowledge and information and education on this channel. And the next step is booking that 15-minute discovery call with me, or, hopefully, I would like you to do that, and or starting to break that obsession, finding ways to do it yourself, and understanding that this is not about weakness, right? Love isn't weakness. Wanting someone to heal isn't weakness, but there's likely an attachment wound because truly love frees. Love says, I will set you free because I want you to be happy. I want you to be whole. And I will not cling. Love doesn't cling. Love isn't codependent. Love doesn't demand. Love is going to set that person free. And you need to set yourself free as well. Love yourself enough to set yourself free from this obsessive loop, because I'm telling you, it's hurting you. It's hurting your nervous system, for sure. It's hurting your body, your mind, and your heart. So I'm here when you're ready. I would love to walk that journey with you. And stay tuned, guys, because I do have a course coming this October. I'm in the midst of like another move, and all sorts of things are happening behind the scenes, working on my website still. I know I've procrastinated. Anyone want to help me with that? I need to have one of my colleagues hypnotize me to stop procrastinating. Anyway, that's all coming up here in the fall, and I can't wait to share that course with you. It's called the Closure Course, and it's the cure for this exact thing, this obsessing, this ruminating, this looping, okay? I'm going to walk you through it. There's going to be a live version as well as an online version for those of you who just kind of want to be cozy in your houses and you don't really want to talk to anyone or interact. You can do it silently, right? You're allowed to do that. I'm sending you guys so much love and power, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.